gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Conservative Viewpoint, where the truth always matters. I'm your host, Charlie, the Country Conservative. I am your trusted source for hard-hitting conservative news. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
1 second here, everyone.
I like that opening. We have to. That was a good opening for this show because it's so out of this world.
It is, and I have got a problem here because I am not going live.
On Wemkin?
Yep.
Ah, shit. Well, you know, Jerry got kicked off his stream somehow, some way.
I
There
saw
must
that
be
too.
Must be something going on with Wemkin tonight.
Okay, wait a second. We're going to go here. We should go here in a second. We'll see what happens here. Okay, there's one. And we should get the other one here in 1 second. As soon as we get, yep, we got that. And we're gone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with me. Esteemed viewers and fellow patriots, thank you for joining us again on the Conservative Viewpoint. I'm your host, Charlie, the Country Conservative.
And I'm Brendan Statler, host of the Brendan Statler Show, and coming soon, my new show, Unchained. Had to do a little marketing, Charlie.
You got to do that.
Gotta do that.
Okay, now I'm trying to get my things going here because I've been having some issues with it. So I'm hoping it goes with us because I don't want to have to read. And son of a bitch, if it did not do that again. And you bear with me for 1 second here while I fix this sucker. And it's probably this one. Whoops.
We need that. We need like that screen that would always come on TV. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Stand by.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
We need to put that up when your shit goes haywire.
No kidding, because it's like I don't know why it was just working 2 seconds ago, and
It's always how it works, isn't it?
And I had those issues come up. That's why I didn't go live, and I don't know what happened. So, but thank you for joining us again on the Conservative Viewpoint. And I already said all that with that, and Brendan made his pitch. So let us reflect on the timeless values that have shaped our great nation. In this crazy era where the winds have changed, threatened to uproot our tradition, we stay in the firm. We are the guardians of liberty, the stewards of family, and the champions of individual responsibility. So picture this, a sun-kissed Main Street where the local diner comes with laughter and the flag flutters proudly in the breeze. Our forefathers built this land on sweat, sacrifice, and unwavering faith. They didn't seek out handouts. They forged their destinies with calloused hands and indomitable spirit. But today, my friends, we find ourselves at a crossroads. The siren song of socialism echoes through our institutions, promising equality, but delivering mediocrity. It whispers, let government be your provider and freedom your sacrifice. Yet we know better. We've read the Constitution, the blueprint for limited government and individual rights. We've studied Milton Friedman, who reminds us that there is no such thing as a free lunch. And we've witnessed failures of collectivism across the history, the breadlines, the stifled innovations, and the erosion of personal ambition. So let us rekindle the flame of self-reliance. Let us celebrate entrepreneurs who risk everything to build businesses, knowing that success or failure rests squarely on their shoulders. Let us honor our parents who teach their children the value of hard work, resilience, and respect for authority. And yes, let us defend our borders, not out of fear, but out of love for the American dream. For a nation without borders is like a house without walls, a noble idea, but ultimately vulnerable to chaos. As we navigate these turbulent waters, remember that conservatism isn't about clinging to the past. It's about preserving what works while adapting to our future. Our principles are timeless: physical responsibilities, strong national defense, and reverence for life. So, my fellow viewers, I implore you, let us stand shoulder to shoulder, excuse me, unyielding in our conviction. Let us engage in civil discourse, respecting differing viewpoints while defending our own. And let us invite others to join this dialogue. For it is through conversation that we forge a stronger, more resilient America. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. I don't know. I started the mic. Huh?
I say, excuse me, coughed right into the mic. Snuck up on me.
Yeah. Some of you guys noticed I started Waking Up America with a conservative viewpoint, and I'm up. I do it anyways in the morning. Pat joined me this morning. It was great to have him. Hi, guys. How's everybody out there? Billy, Bob, Allen, I see. I haven't got to say anything on there yet. Oh, you haven't typed in there yet either? You usually do.
No, I usually do. I'm a little behind today.
Yeah, so if you guys are awake and want to check it out, check it out. I just go over what I'm going to go over tonight, but I don't go into depth. I give them like the titles of what I go over and stuff, and as I'm setting up for the show. So I'm awake anyways, so what the hell, I figured let's go live, and I did that. I just stream on here and Facebook and Rumble. I don't do Instagram or anything like that, but it's kind of neat just to do that for a half an hour. So that's what I'm doing. But let's waste no time. Let's get on with this show. We got a lot to go over tonight. So, Brendan, I know you got something.
Yeah, so I've been telling you guys for a while about the panic within the Democrat Party and their operatives in the media. Not only are they fearing that Donald Trump is going to win this election, they are also fearing that the House and Senate may be in jeopardy. Here is a clip from CNN that I'm going to play for you guys right now to break it all down. Let's play that real quick.
Mike Quigley, who was on with us yesterday, one of the things he continues to say is that Biden will drag us all down. If he stays on the ticket, it's going to hurt House Democrats. What do the numbers say right now in terms of the House?
Yeah, I mean, look, they may be able to run slightly ahead of Joe Biden, but the fact of the matter is, you look at the national polling, the generic congressional ballot choice for U.S. House. Look at this. CNN poll, +2 Republican. Wall Street Journal poll, +3 Republican. Monmouth University poll, +3 Republican. Yeah, Joe Biden may be in slightly worse shape in these particular polls, but the fact is, when Biden's down 4, 5, 6 points in these polls, you can only run so far ahead of Joe Biden. At this particular point, at least in the race for the House, it does seem like Republicans are ahead because Donald Trump is so far ahead.
What's the Senate landscape?
Yeah, what's the Senate landscape? I mean, take a look here. GOP needs just a gain of 1 for control if Trump wins. And their path is extremely clear because their best chance for a pickup opportunity is in West Virginia. That's a very likely GOP win with Joe Manchin retiring. And the best Dem pickup chance, perhaps to reverse that so the GOP doesn't gain a net gain of at least 1, is Texas. But that's still a likely GOP win. So the fact is, if Donald Trump wins this election, the race for the Senate, for all intents and purposes in my mind, is over.
One of the things I have heard from Democrats running for Congress is, okay, if President Biden's not doing well, what we'll say is it makes it all that much more important to elect a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate. Maybe they can gain support that way. But does it work like that, split tickets anymore?
It really doesn't. Let's go back since 2000. Same party won presidency and Congress. Yes, 5 times. No was just 1 time in 2012, the House that year. But the House popular vote that year actually went Democratic, even though Republicans maintained control of the House. So the fact is, 5 out of 6 times, that's not good math. And let's just take a look at the Senate here. Senate and presidential races in 2016 and 2020. States that voted the same way in both, 68. States that voted for a different party, just 1. That was Maine back in 2020. The fact is, Straight ticket voting is the way of the land these days. The idea that Democrats down ballot could somehow outrun Joe Biden to such a great extent to win control in the House or maintain control in the Senate, that seems to me to be an unlikely proposition.
Now, okay, I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so before I dive into this, I want to lead by saying this. I'm not showing this video to you guys for you guys to celebrate and start popping the champagne and think that victory is in the bag, because our work is nowhere near done. The reason I am showing you this video is to motivate you even more. This is more than within our grasp. We just have to deliver the final knockout punch on Election Day. We have a very real possibility of not only putting Donald Trump back in the White House, but picking up a bigger majority in the House and taking the majority in the Senate. And all three of those are essential, as me and Charlie have talked about on here before. It is not enough to simply put Donald Trump back in the White House. We need a clean sweep this election. This is very doable because, remember, the Senate is essentially tied right now. Kamala Harris is the tie-breaking vote. It is very likely, I would say more than likely, I would say a 90% chance, if not higher, that Senate seat in West Virginia, Joe Manchin's seat that he is retiring from, goes red.
Hopefully.
It is a very real possibility that all this can happen. So I show you this not for you to celebrate, as I said before. I don't want everybody getting comfortable because I think that is the most dangerous way of thinking we could have right now. But I show it to you to motivate you that we can do this. This is not an impossible task. This is very much within our grasp. Let's make sure we deliver on Election Day.
Right, because CNN was just showing a point that it could happen.
Absolutely.
Not that it's going to happen. And this comes from CNN, so
right.
You know,
and not only that it could happen, that there is a very realistic chance that it could happen, that it is very likely to happen. The only way that does not happen, the only way we don't get Donald Trump back in the White House, and the only way we don't pick up seats in the House, and the only way we don't take the majority in the Senate is if we get too comfortable and we stay home. We can't do that. That's my biggest fear with this election.
Well, that's why we tell them on every video, or every stream, we tell them, get out 10 people, text 10 people, tell people, help them get registered to vote. We got to get it, and it's not going to stop. We kind of slacked off on our primaries.
We did. We absolutely did.
So, but I think we're getting more of a word out here by doing this than watching the primaries, because right now the primaries are kind of mute. Because I mean, they're all important. Don't get me wrong. Elections are important no matter what it is. But right now, okay, you can go out and vote now, but it doesn't change the fact that Trump is the Republican nominee. Biden is right now the Democrat nominee. So it's not going to change anything for these other couple of states that are left. But it is important you get out, you've got to vote no matter what, and keep pushing the issue. Not pushing the issue, I want to say, but talking to people about the truth, because this is where you're going to get the truth. Not on CNN, MSNBC, you're not. They said something that Brendan showed in this video, because that guy, he kind of always does that. He kind of tells the truth about what the polls are. He doesn't make up anything.
There's a guy on MSNBC that does a similar thing that I've noticed. I mean, he's probably the biggest truth teller on MSNBC. Yeah, but I want to close this topic by saying this, just to let everybody, think about this. If Donald Trump is not put back in the White House, if we do not pick up a bigger majority in the House, and if we don't take the majority in the Senate, we have absolutely nobody to blame but ourselves. That's what it comes down to.
Right, and Dennis says it right too. He says if both House and the Senate have to be won, secured, or they just impeach and not even certify the election.
That's exactly right.
because
That's right.
if one or the other is won by each different party, you're still not going to get anything done because it has to go
No.
through the House before it gets to the Senate. And
Right.
if the Democrats control the House, we're screwed too. So
That's absolutely right. And everybody needs to remember the Democrats have already said if they take control of the House, they will not certify a Donald Trump victory. If they remain in the majority in the Senate, if they have control of both, they will not certify a Donald Trump victory on January 6th. So this is way more than just the presidency, all right? Because like Charlie just said, even if we retain the House, but they retain the Senate, we're never going to get anything done. They will kill everything that we want to do, that Donald Trump tries to do. So we need a clean sweep this election, and you could see it from that CNN video I just played. It's a very real possibility we could do this, but it comes down to us. Are we going to continue to put our shoulder to the wheel and push forward, or are we going to get lazy and not go and vote and just assume that Donald Trump has this victory and other Republicans have this victory? That's what it comes down to. It's on us at this point, guys.
Yep. And we're not talking about a red wave. That is not in our verb right now.
I don't
vocabulary,
even.
So I don't even want to talk about that part.
Right. And I was going to bring up something with polls today, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not bringing up polls anymore because I think that is creating more damage than anything. We need to quit talking about polls. Everybody. I'm not talking about this show necessarily because I don't think we get into polls too much.
I did yesterday. You weren't here. I had like 40 of them. Yeah.
But I'm talking about
the same thing every time though. We only use them as a tool to see where we're
exactly
headed, not as say, oh, we got this. Nah, hell with that.
Exactly. Do not rely on them. Polls do not win elections. We saw a perfect example. We just talked about the midterms. Every poll was showing there was going to be a red wave, and what happened that night? Wasn't a red wave.
Not even
so
close.
We can't do that again. We can't. This is too important.
Yep. Billy Bob says, why are so many Republicans voters for pushing mail-in? I am with you on that, Billy Bob. I don't trust them.
I'll tell you why they are, and I don't like it either. I think we all agree here that mail-in ballots are the worst thing that with our election system. So I'm not disputing that. But the fact is, right now, they're even getting into ballot harvesting. The Republicans are.
Right.
The unfortunate reality is those are the rules that are in play right now. If the Democrats are taking advantage of it, we have to play that game until we can get in and possibly change the rules to what we want them to be. I don't like the mail-in ballot thing. I don't like the voting early. I don't like the ballot harvesting, but unfortunately, those are the rules that are in play right now, and we have to use everything that's at our disposal because the Democrats are doing it.
Well, now
we have to do it.
The vote in early thing, I don't mind because that's in person.
Yeah.
So I don't mind.
Yeah, it's not as bad.
Right, but the mail-in, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That sucks. So.
Yeah, it does. But like I said, those are the rules that are in play. We have to do it right now. They have to push for it.
Yep. Tammy says, I see many demons jumping ship if Trump wins. I hope so, Tammy. I hope to God they do.
I hope so too.
That would be great. And everybody's agreeing with Billy Bob too on that. Maureen, if we vote early, then they know how many they need to cheat. No, they don't. Those are voting early. They get sealed too. So they pretty much can't see the outcome of those right off the bat. So, but you never know because they'll bribe somebody else and put money in people's pockets. It will be a stalemate in the game of chess if we do not have the majority. Exactly right, Pat. That's exactly what's going to happen in there. And if Democrats control anything, they're going to impeach. But today, they did, and this is not going to go anywhere. And I was going to wait to bring it up, but the hell with it. They passed the American-only voting rule in the House.
Which will get killed in the Senate, unfortunately.
Exactly. And we knew
Yes.
that was going to happen. We mentioned that something, I think yesterday I mentioned it on here, but it's going to die in the Senate. And if it did
Yep.
so happen to pass the Senate, Biden already said he's going to veto it. So,
Right.
and I got to remember what this guy said. Oh, that was that Jeffries piece of shit.
Oh, Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries got on there and said the Republicans are all for American-only voting. That
Yes.
means Americans, yeah. And then he said, that means Americans will not be able to vote. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, we're for American only voting. I mean, does any other country have a thing where you could be a non-citizen and vote? I mean, I guarantee you, if I was to go to just about any other country right now and try to vote in one of their elections, I would not be allowed. And why should I? Why should we be any different? If you want to vote, go through the process, become a citizen, and then you can have a say, or at least have the illusion of a say, and how this nation is governed. Until then, you have no voice. Your opinion does not matter. I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, there's no good argument for having illegals voting, non-citizens voting, even if you're here legally on a work visa or whatever. Until you become a citizen, in my opinion, you get no vote. Why is that I can't speak today, confrontational to say?
Well, I just don't understand why he would say it's going to be a problem for Americans voting because Republicans only want Americans voting. He made no sense by that.
I didn't see that, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's exactly how he said it. I mean,
he did too. I mean, that's exactly it. So I should have brought it up too. So
these are the same. These are the same groups of people that were worried about putting too many people on the island of Guam in fear that Guam would tip over. I mean, these aren't very smart people sometimes.
No,
but no. The only reason they want illegals to vote is because which way do you think illegals would vote if they're allowed to vote? They're going to vote for the people that allowed them to come here illegally and gave them all kind of free shit, free housing, free food, free everything you could think of. Of course, the illegals would vote for the Democrats.
Exactly.
I mean,
Dennis says Democrat motto: vote early and vote often. And Marine says, vote even if you're dead. And that's exactly right, because they have proven that has happened. Dead people have been voting, so
and they always seem to vote They always seem to vote Democrat. You notice dead people never vote Republican. It's amazing. Exactly.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Green said, guy said, a friend of mine got a ballot for South Carolina, Georgia, and where he lives now. Hasn't lived in South Carolina or Georgia for about 10 to 15 years. Now that is messed up. And he only voted in Virginia where he lives now. That's crazy.
Well, I told you the story of my stepfather actually got a mail-in ballot, never requested one. This is during 2020 election, of course, never requested.
Right.
Had to take the ballot to the polling station, have it spoiled. But his buddy that lives up in Pittsburgh got, I think he told me, 10 mail-in ballots, didn't request a single one of them. Now, what you had to do for each of those ballots, for those that don't know, you have to take every ballot to your polling station so they could spoil them in order for you to vote in person, even if you didn't request them. So how many of these people throughout the country got mail-in ballots, didn't request them, but they were sent to them, and they just threw them away because they thought it was a mistake and went to vote in person on election day, and they were not allowed to vote. They were disenfranchised. How many Americans did that happen to during the 2020 election, the election that we're supposed to believe was the most free and fair election in our nation's history? I mean, it's complete. It's just asinine to say that was the most secure election, the most free and fair election in our nation's history. Shit. It's just ridiculous.
And it's not. It's just begun. Dennis said he's afraid that he's going to turn Democrat when he dies.
I might get that shirt that says, "When I die, please don't let me vote Democrat."
Yeah. What do we? I know I heard seen a couple of other things. Yeah, guy said to clean up the voter rolls, remove the dead people. Exactly right. They know
Yeah.
the voter rolls are all screwed up, but they don't do a thing about it.
Yep, because they want there to be chaos. It's easier to fix an election, steal an election when there's chaos. They can fix this in no time. Removing the dead people off the voter rolls and everything else, and
MAGA.
not sending mail-in ballots to 3 different states, or sending 10 ballots to one individual, or even sending one to an individual who didn't request it.
Exactly.
But they don't want to do that because they don't want secure elections.
Yep. I got 4, but I threw mine away and voted for Trump in Lancaster County. Oh my.
You were still able to vote even though you threw them away? Because from what I was told,
if you mail
had to actually
in the thing.
Yeah, you actually had to take it to your polling station to have it spoiled, from what I was told.
Yeah, I don't remember when I used to work back in the day.
And this was by an elections official, someone that worked at the election office here where I live. So
I used to work the polls years ago, but I can't remember that crap.
Yeah, well, they probably didn't have mail-in balloting to that extent when you did it.
Well, yes, they did, you son of a bitch. I'm not that freaking old.
Well, a little bit. Was that
you weren't even born yet when I did that? So
was that when Taft was running for president?
Oh yeah, okay, you fucker. Now Biden's got some lowest polling approval numbers ever. Now he ended up with like a 36% approval rating. That's still too high in my book, but
yeah,
that's too high.
I agree.
57% of the people disapprove of the way he's handling the country. That's more like it, but it should be around 80 or 90% of people should believe that part. And I got into it. Well, it was a discussion that the woman, she put on there about if Trump gets back into office, all of our rights are going to be gone. And I said, "You're full of shit, lady." And I said, "You've never seen this country so good." And she goes, "Well, Biden's been in there to clean up Trump's mess." And I said, "Okay." And you know what's going to happen? I put in there, "What the hell kind of mess did Trump make?" I said, "Now this is going to be good." And guess what? Not a peep out of her.
Yeah, I figured that. But
fucking liberals, I'm so sick of them running their mouths when they don't even have a clue of what's going on. They don't watch what's going on. They read an article and they think they know everything. Just shut the hell up.
Right. And one of the let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it quick enough. But anyway, I remember basically what it said. So everybody's talking about this Project 2025 thing, right? If Trump gets elected. One of the things listed in there that all these liberals are crying about is that Trump, get ready for this. This is not a joke. Trump would weaponize the DOJ to go after and imprison his political opponents.
Now,
isn't that exactly what's happening? Isn't that exactly what they're doing right now, Charlie?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to put it as Dan Bongino put it. This is a non-subject. This is a non-thing. All Project 25 is a think tank.
Yes.
People getting paid to think of ideas. This has nothing to do with anything else. He said it. This is a non-subject because it's only a think tank. We have thousands and thousands of think tanks in this country. And this is what people do. They sit around, they get paid to make ideas and write them down. That's exactly what this is. And Trump has nothing to do with the think tank. And I'm sick and tired. And you're right. This is what they're using because they have nothing else to run on.
Right. And I will say this. I saved a thing off Facebook that some liberal posted, going through all the different things that would be affected by Project 25, because that's what they're using now. Whether it's climate change, foreign aid, education, healthcare, alphabet mafia rights, abortion, so on and so forth. I actually read through this whole thing. A liberal posted. I'm not going to read through it now because it would take up too much time. But they have they have some lies sprinkled in here that they're absolute bullshit. But you read through the majority of this stuff, at least what I saved on here. I don't see a problem with any of it. I think it all sounds pretty great. If this was Trump's plan, I'm even more motivated to vote for him. You know what I mean? I think a lot of this stuff. Now, like I said, there's some stuff in here. They talk about that Medicare and Medicaid would be tremendously affected by this negatively. Of course, shit like that you could pick out that is bullshit. But a lot of this other stuff, like they talk about under climate change, I'll just read this one thing real quick, it'd be 2 seconds. It says that Trump would shred greenhouse gas regulations and gut clean energy programs, replace the White House climate advisor with someone focused on boosting the fossil fuel industry. Doesn't that sound horrible, Charlie?
Oh, my God. I can't believe that.
Doesn't that just sound awful?
You know what? I want Trump in just to stop his climate bullshit.
I know.
You don't hear a word of this when Trump's in office, but as soon as the Democrat wussy gets in there, and this is all we hear about it. And it's a bunch of bullshit, and these people know it.
Yeah, we were all supposed to be wiped out how many times just since the 70s?
No shit.
At first there was going to be an ice age. We were all going to freeze to death. Right. Then global warming, we were all going to burn up. Now they've changed it to climate change because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They can't be wrong one way or the other now.
Well, there's been a list before you were even born. This started back in the 40s or 50s, I think it was, where before I was even born, where they had these conspiracy theories Democrats had that this was going to happen, like you just said. And why you don't remember Y2K? Y2K was
no, but I know what it is. Yeah,
yeah. Everything was supposed to be wiped out. Computers were supposed to shut down.
Yep.
And everything's been false, and it's all come from Democrats.
Yeah, weren't they actually telling people leading up to Y2K to unplug all their electronics and shit? I thought I heard that. Yeah.
Once it flipped to 2000, it was going to screw up or something, or whatever year it was. I can't remember what
it never happened.
No, but Tammy said they regurgitate what they hear from CNN. Exactly right. And I'm sick and tired of them. They see that, and then they think, oh, you're going to pump your chest. We got the answers now because CNN told us. Get the hell out of here, you idiots. People keep saying that Trump will take our rights. If he was going to take them, why didn't he when he was in office before? Exactly right, Maureen.
That's the same argument I make, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, Charlie. They're all saying that Trump's going to be a dictator if he gets a second term. Well, why the hell wasn't he a dictator the first time? Why did he even leave office if he was going to be a dictator?
What's going on right now?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've said it 100 times. Everything they accuse Donald Trump of doing is exactly what they're doing themselves. Like I said, in this Project 25 that these liberals have wrote up here, their interpretation of it is that Donald Trump would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political opponents. Like, are you kidding me?
Right, exactly.
Like, you can straight face.
I got to scroll down here because Dennis made a comment here about 50,000 military-age CCP men in America right now. Now, I didn't get to talk about this article the other day, Dennis, but supposedly, and you haven't heard this anywhere on TV, but the Biden administration did the biggest mass deportation of Chinamen in this country just a couple weeks ago. Have you heard about this? On any news station. Have you read about it, Brendan?
Not that I've heard, no.
But they supposedly did this the greatest big deportation, but nobody has heard it. And I had it on the show the other day, but we didn't get to it because we were doing what we do best and talking.
You're not suggesting that they're lying, are you, Charlie?
Well, no. Why would I do that? They're the Democrats. They don't lie. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Nuclear rockets from Cuba by USSR. Hairspray eroded the ozone layer. Oh, yeah. Now it's cow farts. Did you see where they're going to find they're going to fine farmers for cow farting.
I did, yeah.
Who the hell is going to stand there with a fart gauge behind a cow and say, well, he just farted. You owe us $10,000. Get the hell out of here, you dumb son of a bitches. Oh, my God. The criminal invaders are most military-age men for poor-looking men. But, Dennis, you are right. I'm not cutting on what you said, but there are a lot. Now, the last one I heard was 38,000. I didn't hear 50,000.
Yeah,
but
you could probably double that number in reality. That's just what they know. What they're willing to report, I should say.
Right, and I should have fit that in, but it was one of those last articles that I put in just in case we need something, and we didn't make it to it. But I'm glad you brought that up, Dennis, because that shit is actually true. We've got military-age men that everybody is talking about right now coming into this country, terrorists and everybody, and they don't know where they're at.
Yeah. 100%.
That's a big problem. So,
well, or worse, they do know where they're at, and they're just waiting to. They're just waiting for orders.
Yeah, Dennis says.
Think about that.
Oh, no kidding. That 50,000 CCP military-age men would be shocked to learn that they have been deported. Exactly right. And it was a big article too, and it was from like New York Post or something, but the fake new media bullshit.
Yeah.
And said that they did it. But if they did that, and that would be a good thing for Biden. So why wouldn't they have all these news stations report that shit?
Exactly.
So
because
I don't want to hear it. They didn't do shit.
Yeah. No, because it didn't happen. I mean, seriously. Do you think that Morning Joe would have missed an opportunity to put that out there?
Oh, no.
I mean, come on. Oh,
Gumby would have never hesitated. He was said, F you people. I wish that sumbitch would say that to my face. Vic said it was her RAV4 number 4 hairspray and her helmet head hairdo. Oh, my. All right. Now, I do want to get into this because Biden says he'll drop out of the 2024 race if God comes down and tells him to go. Now, in this dumpster fire of an interview with George Snuffleupagus, that I like to call him, and I'm going to let you watch this video of George talking with this now he's a worthless journalist, so you can hear it for yourself. So I want you to listen to this. Take a look at this.
I mean, on a more practical level, Washington Post just reported in the last hour that Senator Mark Warner is assembling a group of senators together to try and convince you to stand down because they don't think you can win.
Well, Mark is a good man. We've never had that. He also tried to get the nomination too. Mark and I have a different perspective. I respect him.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi come down and say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
I go into detail with them. I've spoken to all of them in detail, including Jim Clyburn. Every one of them. They all said I should stay in the race. Stay in the race. None of the people said I should leave.
But if they do?
Well, it's like, they're not going to do that.
You sure?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I'd get out of the race. The Lord Almighty's not coming down. I mean, these hypotheticals, George,
But it's not that hypothetical anymore. I grant that they have not requested the meeting, but it's been reported.
I've met with them. I've met with a lot of these people. I've talked with them regularly. I had an hour conversation with Hakeem. I had more time than that with Jim Clyburn. I spent time with many hours off and on the last little bit with Chuck Schumer. It's not like I had all the governors.
I agree that the Lord Almighty is not going to come down, but if you are told reliably from your allies, from your friends and supporters in the Democratic Party, in the House and the Senate, that they're concerned you're going to lose the House and the Senate if you stay in, what will you do?
I'm not going to answer that question. It's not going to happen.
You hear this shit? That man is a dumpster fire just sitting there and lying like crazy because now Nancy Pelosi, and that's supposed to be for a Friday show, I think, but Nancy Pelosi's not even talking about it. The Democrats aren't even doing it. They had their private meeting and that is for another show, but we'll get into that. But most of the majority of them do not want him in. The donors are saying they don't want him in there. It's I don't know what's going to happen because nobody's letting anything out now, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I think I know how they're going to handle this situation. I've been kicking this thought around for a few days now, and I was really debating if I wanted to put this out there. But the hell with it. I'm going to do it anyway. I think what they are going to do, I think the CIA is going to have Biden assassinated. Now, they've done this they did this with JFK. We all know that the CIA did this. What they're going to do, because it's too late to replace him in many of these swing states, the CIA is going to have him killed. And whoever happens to kill him, they're going to make sure that that individual is wearing a MAGA hat. So they could demonize Donald Trump even further, demonize the entire MAGA movement, call us extremists and domestic terrorists. And I have a feeling that this is going to happen very soon. I just cannot shake this feeling that we're going to see another JFK-like event. I hope it doesn't happen. I cannot stress that enough. I hope it does not happen. But I cannot shake that thought that that is what they are cooking up.
Oh, most definitely. And this is stuff that we've got to get taken care of. And this is ridiculous. So, but Pat said it right that we want Biden to stay in the race.
Yeah, we absolutely want to stay in the race.
Right. So
absolutely,
Joe wants to keep power. That's exactly right, Marissa. That's all she wants. And she's the one that's pushing him to stay in. And he's listened to a small group of people when it comes to this, and it's not a majority. It's just like Nancy Pelosi, but she's not sure either because I've got to find the video about what she talked about today about him, and it's not about keeping him in. So what else we got here? Joe, you're mocking the God now. Little kids shouldn't play with fire. They need to keep little kids away from him. That's how he's going to sniff one of those kids right up his nostril one day. And oh my God, now my mic keeps going down again. I don't know why. They're telling me on YouTube that I'm going down. Oh no, she's on Facebook. But yeah, they've got to keep him away from them, but we got to get them gone no matter what happens. So let me get back to my things here because like always, I have a video about everything, but I'm going to pass these up because it's more of about 9 more Democrats want him out. Angie Craig, a Democrat, she's the 5th Democrat to call for him to get out. I mean, everybody is calling for him to get out, and this mental piece of shit is not capable of running a country.
No.
Now, Jerry Nadler, one of the top Democrats, and I think I have him.
He's such a loser.
He is, but he wants him out. And I don't know why I have it down at the bottom, but he wants him out. But today, somebody said that I heard on the passing that maybe he's switching it out now and deciding to back Biden. Now, it doesn't make any sense because we have on ABC, and if I could find that one, about Biden's cognitive test. You guys haven't heard this, and you probably have, but I'm going to let you listen to it again. So take a listen to this about his cognitive test, and we'll get back to this because this is very important.
I know you spoke with your doctor after the debate. What did he say?
He said, he just looked at me and said, you're exhausted.
I know your doctor said he consulted with a neurologist. I guess I'm asking a slightly different question. Have you had the specific cognitive tests, and have you had a neurologist, a specialist, do an examination?
No, no one said I had to.
And you have been doing that, and the American people have been watching, yet their concerns about your age and your health are growing. So that's why I'm asking, to reassure them, would you be willing to have the independent medical evaluation?
Watch me there's a lot of time left in this campaign. It's over 125 days.
So the answer,
make a decision.
The right answer right now is no, you don't want to do that right now.
No, I've already done it.
Hey, did you notice that? No, nobody told him. A president, supposed president of the United States, somebody has to tell him to do something. But then you've got KJP, which I do not think I had it on here. We had it yesterday, I think, saying that he sees a neurologist annually and is checked. He is not checked for this annually. Why was the neurologist at the White House every month for 8 months straight?
Yeah, exactly. We all know why the neurologist was there that often, but notice how Biden says, "Watch me." He's been saying that throughout his entire illegitimate presidency. Well, we have been watching you, Joe, and you completely suck.
Exactly
there's
right.
nothing. There's nothing more to see here. I mean, this guy has been an absolute dumpster fire from the start. I mean, you cannot name, even liberals cannot name one positive thing that he has done. They always bring, well, he's not Donald Trump into this, or they'll say the Chips and Science Act, which actually doesn't make Americans rich. It makes Taiwan rich, which then in turn makes China rich. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Every point that they make trying to make this guy look good is ridiculous. They can't say anything positive that he has done without bringing up Donald Trump, and maybe the things that they do bring up that they think is positive is actually a complete disaster. The Chips and Science Act is the biggest one I always hear. The other is the Inflation Reduction Act that me and Charlie have gone over many times.
God, yes.
It's nothing positive has come from this illegitimate Biden regime, and nothing positive will ever come of this illegitimate Biden regime.
Exactly. And Tammy says, where were all these dumbasses years ago? This decline didn't just happen overnight. And you're exactly right, Tammy, because this has been going on for years. And they want to make it sound like it was just the debate that has caused this. And that's when it happened. It did not.
Yeah.
And they're full of shit. And I'm sick and tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
And this is what they constantly do.
I mean, was anybody really surprised by Biden's performance during the debate?
No,
I wasn't.
And now they're blaming it on the cold, of course.
Yeah, that only lasted 90 minutes, apparently, because if you continued watching coverage after the debate, he went to his watch party right after
outside
the debate.
Yep.
And he was speaking like he normally does, still incoherent and slurring his words, but still much louder and more energy than he had during the debate. That was just one of those colds that lasted 90 minutes, I guess, and just happened to take place during the 90-minute debate. But he was just fine after the debate going to his watch party where he had maybe 100 people, if that meant, probably 80 of them were paid to be there. And his event in Raleigh, North Carolina, the very next day seemed to be just fine. He made a full recovery from that cold in no time, it seems. It's amazing.
No kidding. And they keep using this shit as an excuse. And of course, the liar that she is. And I think I have
Hey, Charlie.
What?
The other thing I forgot, the other excuse was jet lag. Marissa says on here, jet lag 12 days later. Well, didn't he have time to recuperate for a whole week at Camp David?
And he was laying on the beach.
Yes.
And you didn't have time. I've been on jets. I've flown all around the world and have never had jet lag that took a month to freaking heal. What the hell is that?
And if it takes you that long, honestly, you have no business being president, because that is part of the job. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Exactly right. Now I got to do this because Dennis is doing it again. So hold on a second. Don't get dead segment. From Dennis, I'll give you his first. 3 things you need to have in your emergency bag right now. A good full Tangs craft knife. Number 2 is a 4x4 foot caught and 300 plus aluminum flashlight, not rechargeable. Okay, Dennis, that's yours. You keep beating me to the punch. I couldn't get to it fast enough, but here's mine.
I think I like when it rains. to go through the light.
Okay, there you go, Dennis.
Damn.
What the hell?
I knocked my mouse off the table.
Oh,
I don't know how I did that.
he moves like a chicken and barks like a cow. Everything that has come out of his mouth is nonsense. You're exactly right, Pat. The man is shot out. There's no way he can do another 4 years. I'm sorry.
No.
It's impossible. These guys need to kick him to the curb. But like we said yesterday and a couple shows ago, we've talked about they have to wait until he's nominated to get that money.
Right.
And somebody mentioned it this morning on the show when I did my Waking Up America show that he has to wait because the only person that can get that money is Kamala Harris. She has to be on a ticket some way for to pass that $100 million off. So
right.
They're definitely going to wait until after that. But I do want to ask you guys, do you guys want to watch any of the Republican National Convention? It starts Sunday. Now, do you just want to wait until Trump comes on and we'll stream that? Or do you want to get some little bit more of that next week? So let me know in chat what you guys want to do. And I'll do whatever you guys want to do. If you guys want to listen to some of it, we'll watch it with whatever's going on. Or we can just wait for Trump and see what he has to say when he announces his VP pick, if he does it. Let me know in chat, though.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who his VP pick is going to be finally. I mean, we could, we've had this conversation a number of times. I don't think there's any reason to get back into it because anybody's guess is as good as the next at this point.
It's all.
I'm excited to finally see who it's going to be, though. That's going to be coming up very, very soon.
No shit. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be at the end.
I would think so, yeah, because that's usually when they, if I remember correctly, I haven't watched too many party conventions, but I would assume. Yeah, I would assume they would hold the presidential nominee ceremony till the end. So I would think that that's how it would go.
Right. Pat, I'm not sure. I know it starts Sunday and it's various times, so I'm not really sure exactly when it starts. Trump only. We're getting Trump only from Billy Bob. What do you guys think? Natural wood charcoal is worth the wait and go. And he's still talking about the prep and stuff.
Well,
Pictures prepare the Democrats still. We are going to get that. We are going to do the episode, Dennis, with you, me, and Vic one day when Brendan's not here.
William does make a good point, though. I know that everybody's saying Trump only, but William says should probably watch all of them so we can refresh the list of phonies for anyone who's fallen behind. I mean, that is a great point, but whatever you guys want to do, we could do. It doesn't matter. I'm probably going to be watching all of it regardless. So,
well, I'm going to look at the times. I'm going to see if I can find the schedule.
Yeah, I'm going to too.
And see what's closer to our time coming on here.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll just pick up from there and go and see what's going on because I know they go like a long time.
They do.
So maybe we'll do that. We'll check the schedule and we'll get back to you guys this week sometime and let you know what's going on so we can see them. And we'll know what's going on better. I want Trump to pick J.D. Vance. Guy said that. I like Vance. I think he's a little young, but
I think he's more valuable where he's at, in my opinion.
A lot of people think that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd pull him out of his Senate seat. That's the only reason I wouldn't pick him if it was me.
I do not want Marco Rubio.
No, absolutely not.
I do not want Vivek. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Vivek.
Vivek. I do not want him. That one woman they keep talking about, I don't want her.
Tulsi.
Yeah, she's a little.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust her either.
Yeah, she's a little flighty, so I'm not sure about that. So I mean, Ben Carson would be great, I think. I trust the man.
Maybe.
I trust the man, but I think he still needs a spot in there somewhere. They need to
I think he'll
check. They need to let him check Biden.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely have some position in the Trump administration. I can't say whether or not he's going to be vice president, but he could be. But I think he'll definitely have some role for sure. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Right. So I mean, there's so much going on. Yeah, I hope to God, because Trump did mention that yesterday. He said when he was introducing Rubio, and he did say, well, Rubio did help me get elected, and I did not like to hear that whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to pick Rubio anyway. I'm not too. My main concern is that he's going to fall. He's going to fall for someone like Doug Burgum. I do not trust Burgum whatsoever. I think Burgum will be like picking Mike Pence again.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who I pick. I wouldn't. Me personally, like I said before, I would not pick any of these people that are on the list. I wouldn't. I like Vivek so far, but I don't know how much I trust him. He's still new to this whole scene, so I don't know how much I trust him. He says all the right things, but he's unproven at this point. That's the reason I wouldn't pick him. Vance, Donalds, both great, I think, but they're more valuable where they're at. And the rest of the list, other than those ones, are just god awful in my opinion. Just all of them are terrible. Other than Ben Carson. Ben Carson would be would be a good pick, I think. But the majority of these people, these names are floating, are just awful in my opinion.
Well, we do need somebody. We do need a badass in there, though. One that will do the job and not take no shit from anybody.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I wonder about Ben Carson. Now, I do like Ben Carson. So don't everybody don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. And Jerry from the American Rebellion has told me that he is a badass. He is a fire breather, which could be true. I don't know. I've never seen that side of Ben Carson. My fear is that Trump would pick someone like Ben Carson, and Ben Carson wouldn't have the spine to make tough decisions. I mean, I don't know if he has that in him. I think he's a good man. I think he's an honorable man. But will he have the spine to do what needs to be done right now? That is the question that I can't answer, and that's why I'm a little leery of Trump possibly picking Ben Carson, just because this is a unique situation we're in. We need a fire breather as president and as vice president, and I don't know if that's Ben Carson yet at this point.
Right. A lot of people are saying Flynn, no Burgum.
Flynn would be good. Flynn would be a really good pick.
I think he'd be better off used as a head of the military, though.
Possibly. Yeah, but
Vivek is
decision.
Maureen says Vivek is slimy. Pat says Sarah Huckabee, Ben Carson, or Flynn. A lot of no Carson because of what you just said too. Vic said that Burgum's a CCP supporter. Yeah, hell with him.
I wouldn't pick Sarah Huckabee either, just for the same reason that I wouldn't pick J.D. Vance or Byron Donalds. I think she's more valuable being the governor of Arkansas. That's just my opinion.
Can't pick anyone who's controversial or divisive. Need someone who will help draw undecided voters. Exactly right. That's for sure.
Possibly. That's right to an extent, but I think that no matter who Trump picks, they're going to draw controversy. You know what I mean? They're going to try to dig up any dirt possible, even if it's somebody like Ben Carson.
Oh, most definitely. The Democrats,
it's not going to matter.
No, Democrats have a file on everybody that could possibly be a pick right now. So as soon as he picks it, you watch the stories fly.
Exactly. If Trump does pick someone like Ben Carson, you will hear every negative thing said about that could possibly be said about Ben Carson said at that point because he's tied to Trump. I mean, so I don't think you're going to avoid the controversy either way you look at it, in my opinion. I think it's just it comes with the territory at this point.
Yep. All right, now. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's all the time we have for tonight. Want to thank you guys for tuning in to chat, helping us make this great show great again, because time flies when we're having fun. And you guys are the reason for that. So thank you again. Join us again tomorrow night for another great episode of The Conservative Viewpoint, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place. Now, with that, I'm going to leave you with this. As we conclude this episode for The Conservative Viewpoint, I invite you to linger for a moment. Our journey through ideas, debates, and convictions have been both enlightening and invigorating. In this age of noise and discord, we have championed clarity, dissected policies, dissected ideologies, and dissected the very fabric of our nation. But amidst the fervor, let us not forget shared purpose: to safeguard liberty, uphold tradition, and honor the indomitable American spirit. So as the sun sets on this broadcast, let us remember that the quiet heroes, the teachers who instill love for country, the veterans who bear scars of sacrifice, and the entrepreneurs who dare to dream. They are the backbone of our society, the unsung notes in our national anthem. And so, my friends, let us carry forth the torch of conservatism. Let us resist the allure of utopian promises, for they often lead to dystopian realities. Instead, let us embrace the imperfect beauty of our constitutional republic, a system that balances ambition with restraint, ambition with compassion. In closing, I leave you with this thought: freedom is not a mere given, it's a responsibility. It's the right to speak your mind, but also the duty to listen. It's the privilege to pursue happiness, but also obligation to lift others along the way. May the stars and stripes forever wave over this land, the land of opportunity, resilience, and unwavering hope. And may you, dear listeners, continue to engage, question, and seek truth. Until tomorrow night, guys, stay vigilant, stay informed, and may God bless America. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to our next rendezvous, which is tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.